Welcome back to Squawk Box this morning. Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin and Fed Chair Jay Powell will be appearing on video conference before the Senate Banking Committee as part of their regular testimony that's required by the $2 trillion economic relief package. And Steve Liesman joins us now with more. Now these hearings are all done virtually, Steve.
Yeah, they will be appearing virtually. Both Mnuchin, I guess the dynamic duo, Mnuchin and Powell, who are running the financing of the economy during this shutdown, they have to do this quarterly. This is the CARES Act calls for them to appear quarterly before Senate Banking and House Financial Services. Powell will say that the Federal Reserve is committed to using its full range of tools. He will also talk about the idea that he expects a sharp drop in output and a rise in unemployment, but does expect some improvement as the year goes by, saying the Fed has taken unprecedented steps to address the coronavirus economic shutdown, and it will put its tools away when the economy improves. Okay, now talking about those tools, here's the Fed's balance sheet, and I've done the math for you. It's gone up from $4.2 trillion to $6.7 trillion. It's $2.5 trillion additionally. But hold on, folks, because you ain't seen nothing yet. It is about to, I believe, surge when the Fed starts launching the programs that are out there. Okay, what programs? Here's the programs they're testifying under. The Treasury has committed $195 billion as the equity stake in 8 programs over at the Fed that will amount to trillions of dollars in additional lending. They include Main Street lending. They include the municipal bond program, corporate bonds, and PPP loans. Only a bunch of these. I was counting, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those 8 programs look to be open at the moment. There's also $259 billion not committed, and that could amount to an additional trillions of dollars more in spending or lending at the Federal Reserve under these programs or additional programs as may needed. As for the Treasury Secretary, he will say on the Hill, quote, "We are working closely with governors. We are beginning to open the economy in a way that minimizes risk to workers and customers. We expect economic conditions to improve in the third and fourth quarters." And guys, that is the baseline forecast of most economists. They do see a rebound in the third quarter and the fourth quarter. Goldman recently downgraded its second quarter forecast to minus 39%, but sees a pretty sharp rebound in the third quarter. Powell, for his part, Andrew, as you know, has talked on 60 Minutes and at the Peterson Institute last week, his concern about a second wave and has urged caution in the reopening efforts around the states. Andrew?
Before you go, how much of this do you think is just going to focus on the actual, not just the numbers and whether the goalposts are going to have been moving on PPP? I imagine that's going to be a big part of this conversation about who's getting the money, who's not getting the money, how much longer this needs to get extended. What kind of things, how do you think that's going to be framed by Mnuchin?
You know, Andrew, you ask an excellent question that really gets at how I'll be listening to the testimony today. And the reason is because you don't so much listen to the people who are the witnesses, you listen to the questions. And the questions will tell you what the partisan divides are on these programs. I think you're going to hear a lot of questions about state and local assistance, which is something the Democrats want. I think you may hear some questions about debt, finance, and the finances of the government from the Republican side. I'm frankly not sure how all of this shakes out. One of the remarkable aspects that we've lived through is the bipartisanship, essentially, when they got down to agreeing on the whole thing, of the CARES Act, okay? And now the question is the bipartisanship of the CARES Act going forward. So one of the things we're going to listen to, I think this PPP program is really critical. Do they get rid of the requirement that you hire the workers and let them use more expenses, use more of the money for expenses? And are they ready to do additional funding for the possibility that this thing goes on further?